Alexa Bliss recently had a lot going on, so we'll see what Alexa Bliss has been up to. We'll also check out what's going on with a missing NXT superstar, Roman Reigns, and much more. Let's start things off with this small update for Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. So last time we talked about Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, we went over how Solo really acted out for the first time since he's been in the Bloodline. Ever since Solo Sikoa first arrived on the main roster and joined the Bloodline, he's been a quiet, ruthless, emotionless enforcer and main muscle for Roman Reigns. He doesn't speak at all. He doesn't question Roman. He's given Roman the least amount of issues out of all the Bloodline members. Jay has got all of his issues with Roman. Jimmy is starting to have some issues with Roman, but Solo hasn't had any issues with Roman at all. And maybe that's why Roman has sort of been selecting Solo Sikoa and picking him to join him at ringside recently over the Usos. Maybe Roman truly knows that things are shaky with the Usos right now. So, in his heart, he trusts Solo Sikoa to have his back just a tad more than he trusts the Usos right now. So that's another very telling element about the ongoing cracks within the Bloodline. Roman claims that everything is under control with the Bloodline, yet he's showing that he trusts Solo Sikoa more than the Usos. When Roman has a big confrontation coming out, he always has Solo Sikoa right by his side. When Roman was going to kick Sami Zayn out of the Bloodline during the Tribal Court, he called out Solo Sikoa to handle that business. So it's obvious that if we're ranking the Bloodline members in terms of authority and positioning right now, it'll be Roman Reigns at number 1 spot, Solo Sikoa as number 2, and the Usos coming in at numbers 3 and 4. That's just how Roman has been operating and using his Bloodline members recently. But for the first time since his Bloodline arrival back at Clash at the Castle, Solo Sikoa was defiant and didn't stick to Roman's orders. Like we previously talked about from the March 20th edition of Raw, Roman Reigns storms out of the ring after getting stung by Cody's words. And it's basically like an unwritten law in the Bloodline that if Roman leaves the ring and moves, you immediately follow behind him. No questions asked. And Solo Sikoa is aware of that and has been following that rule for 6 months now. But for the first time ever, he didn't follow that rule here on Raw. Roman and Heyman are nearly halfway up the ramp, assuming that Solo Sikoa is right behind them. But when they turn back, they see that he's still in the ring, facing off with Cody Rhodes, completely disrespecting Roman's unwritten rules and acting out for the very first time since his main roster debut. And you see Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman absolutely shocked by the fact that Solo Sikoa acted out like that. Cody Rhodes instigates the entire situation by telling Solo Sikoa that he isn't ready. And right when Solo Sikoa goes to spike Cody, we get that big moment of Roman holding back Solo's arm. And that's where the show ended off at and went off the air. But thanks to fan-recorded footage, there was another important moment that happened just moments after Raw went off air. Roman Reigns can be seen yelling and scolding Solo Sikoa all the way up the ramp, while Solo Sikoa had his head down the entire time until they made it to the back. A lot of fans pointed out how this may be the big issue that Solo Sikoa remembers in the future, and could use this as motivation to go against Roman Reigns down the line. So now that Solo Sikoa even had a rare moment of disobeying Roman Reigns, every single Bloodline member has had small issues against Roman. Paul Heyman betrayed Roman in 2021, with all of his contact that he was having behind Roman's back with Brock Lesnar. Jey Uso suffered everything in 2020 and continues to not show the most love to Roman Reigns. And Jimmy Uso is upset about nearly taking the fall for Jay's Royal Rumble actions when he didn't do anything wrong himself. And now Solo Sikoa will be upset that Cody Rhodes called him out and disrespected him. But Roman embarrassed him and didn't let him do anything back to Cody Rhodes. As emotionless as he likes to be, that just has to hurt Solo Sikoa deep down. So every Bloodline member still has a score to settle with Roman Reigns, and Cody tried warning Roman that they'll all leave him, starting with Jay. So we'll have to see where that goes, but the situation with Solo Sikoa is very interesting because not even Roman's most trusted soldier is properly behaving anymore. That's a real bad sign that his control over the Bloodline is slipping and getting out of his hands. So keep a close eye on that situation because Cody's comments very well could be becoming a reality for Roman Reigns. Fans have been keeping a close eye on NXT's upcoming star, Cora Jade. Cora had a big babyface run in NXT, followed up by a big heel turn and quickly became a fan favorite superstar. But she hasn't appeared on NXT television since January and was replaced in some matches that she was previously advertised for. And fans have also noticed that Cora temporarily disabled her Twitter account. So there is some concern there from the fans on what exactly is going on with Cora Jade. Some fans have even wondered if she could be getting called up to the main roster soon as well. But hopefully she makes a return to WWE television in some fashion in the near future. Alexa Bliss made headlines recently when she announced her scary skin cancer diagnosis. Thankfully for Alexa Bliss, all she needed was a little procedure and she was cleared from the skin cancer. She had this to say about the entire situation on Twitter, quote, "There was a spot on my face that had gotten worse, so I went to get a biopsy. It was a basal cell carcinoma. During my procedure, Doc also found other squamous cells. Was a quick and easy procedure. Glad I always get my skin checked. Dear younger me, you should have stayed out of tanning beds. All clear now, though." End quote. That wasn't the only headline that Alexa Bliss made recently. Alexa was also recently unmasked as one of the masked singers on the television show The Masked Singer. Chris Jericho made an appearance on The Masked Singer several years ago, and now Alexa Bliss joins him as another pro wrestler to appear on the show. As far as the latest WWE update goes for Alexa Bliss, everything is still pretty quiet and hasn't changed. She still hasn't been seen ever since losing to Bianca Belair at the Royal Rumble, and having Uncle Howdy remind her that she's still not in control. The last time Alexa Bliss's WWE return was even hinted at was during Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse from a few weeks back, where Alexa's box that she used to revive The Fiend was seen inside the Firefly Funhouse. There was also a woman's voice screaming out for help in the Funhouse, and fans did wonder if that's where Alexa's been trapped at since the Royal Rumble within the story. But of course, due to Bray Wyatt's illness, everything that's related to him and Alexa Bliss has been temporarily put on pause. So it's hard to tell where this story is going and what was planned. But hopefully when Bray Wyatt makes his return to television, everything will get back on track for both Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. Like we mentioned time and time again, the last few months of Alexa's story makes it seem like she really has to return and have some kind of connection with Bray Wyatt in some way. They just tease so much there for that reunion that it would be pretty insane if they didn't pay off those teasers. So hopefully that story is still on track and both returns from Alexa and Bray happen in the very near future. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.